What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? That was a 10 out of 10 on the clap. Today we have the Kriss Vector. Mine is all decked out in this awesome camo print. It is really sharp looking. These things are available in 8 different colors now. It's available in 9mm, 45. If you are a man, you can get it in 10mm. If you're not a man, you can get it in 40 soft and weak, 22 LR, available in rifle, pistol, SBR options, all 3 different options. And this thing has been in like 9,000 movies and 100 million video games now. This thing is very, very popular because of the unique looks it has. And it has been in a ton of video games and movies. And when you take this out at the range, everybody wants to ask about it and shoot it and check it out. It's just a very unique and popular gun. Before we get into the specifics of the gun, I want to talk about one feature is going to be the recoil system. They call it the Super V recoil system. Now these guns shoot very, very nice, very flat, especially if you shoot it full auto. It's super fast and super flat. Fun gun to shoot in full auto. The recoil system is different. The bolt is very, very short. When you shoot, it does the normal, extract the round and load the next one in. But the majority of the recoil system is going down instead of to the rear. So when you shoot a normal pistol caliber carbine, it's bang, bang, bang. The bolt moving to the rear and coming back. With this one, you get the shot. Then the recoil system comes down. So the recoil sensation is totally different. When the bolt locks to the rear, totally different. Not bad at all. There's a lot less felt recoil. So I explained all that just to say they shoot extremely nice. And when we get to that point, I will take the gun apart and show you the recoil system so you can see it up close. But it is a pretty cool system. Anyway, let's start with the stock and we'll work our way forward. They call the stock the DS150. That's the model number. It is a Kriss branded stock. It has 2 quick detach points. It has 2 sling slots. And it's very difficult for me to say sling slots. It is an adjustable stock. The buffer tube that it's on does not have any buffer spring or anything in there, but it is a 6-position buffer tube. So if you don't, and it's mil spec, so if you don't like this stock, you can swap it out. But I like this stock. I don't see any need to swap it out, but you can if you want to. The safety is very nice as well. It's an ambi safety. It's oversized, but it's not a bad thing. So oversized ambi AR-15 controls I don't love because that ambi safety digs into your trigger finger if you're, well, either way, whether you're right or left-handed. This sits up a little bit higher above your hand so it doesn't dig in and doesn't hurt your trigger finger. When you slide the safety down, that turns the safety off. You see the red for off. When you slide it back up, that puts the safety back on, that engages it. So safety is cool, in a great spot, no issues there. The grip is okay. The grip is built into the gun, so you can't swap the grip out. I wouldn't mind if it was a little bit more aggressive. It's not really necessary, to be honest. Not like the gun has a ton of recoil or moves. It's not a handgun or anything. I just prefer the feel of a more aggressive grip. Nothing that can't be fixed by a basic set of Talon grips. But if I had my way to change, probably about the only thing on the gun I would change, I wouldn't mind if the grip was a little bit more aggressive. Another good thing about the grip, though, it does have a locking storage compartment on the bottom. In case you're like me and you want to put some gummy bears in there, if you need a snack at the range, those range snacks are very, very important. All right, the trigger. Let's chat about the trigger. The trigger is very, very respectable. I'm going to call it a very good trigger. Not great, but very, very good. The take-up when you get to the wall is extremely light. There's like no take-up. There is, probably turn the safety off. The wall, there's a little tiny bit of creep throughout the wall, and then the reset is fairly short. It's very, very tactile, slightly audible, and for me, it's important for me to have for a trigger to have a really good wall and a very tactile reset. Those are the 2 things that I really want in a trigger, and this absolutely has both of them. So as always, we will take a 10-second break so you can get up close and personal with this trigger and see it and smell it and taste it and feel it, and I'll be right back. What did you think about the trigger? Again, very, very respectable, especially for a pistol caliber carbine. You're not going to be shooting these out 1,000 yards, so the trigger is more than good enough for me in my opinion. Magazine release is a little unique. It's not going to be like your trigger finger, like an AR-15. It is going to be very close to your support hand, and you will need to drop the magazine with your support hand. I did a lot of magazine exchanges because I've shot the Vectors a lot, but I haven't spent a ton of time with them before this review. So I did a lot of magazine exchanges. I figured the easiest thing to do is to drop that empty mag before you go for the spare, but I wanted to work it both ways, where I got the spare, then dropped it. And no doubt, I think it's better, easier, smarter to drop that magazine, get your spare, put the spare in. That worked out better for me, but you do you, boo-boo. The two best things about the magazine release and the magazine and all that system is, one, it does have a last round hold open, which is great. If this thing didn't have a last round hold open, it would kind of kill and be a bummer if it didn't, but it does. So that's good. The next thing is it takes Glock magazines, which is great. This would be a very nice pairing if you choose to carry a Glock every day. I don't know why you would, but if you do, now if you carry a Glock every day, this would be a great pairing to go with that Glock. It takes the same exact magazines. You have your Glock. If you ever need something a little more serious for a little further work, some sort of weird self-defense scenario, you could swap the same magazines from your pistol to your rifle, and that's a great setup. It takes the full-size Glock magazine. So if you have the 9mm, you need the mags that are at least going to fit a Glock 17, whether that be the awful 10-round magazines or the 17 or the 33 rounds, whatever. If you have, let's see, the Glock 45, that's a Model 21. If you have a Glock 20, that's 10mm. And if you have the Glock 22, that's 40 soft and weak. I think those are the model numbers, but who knows with Glock, they're impossible to keep track of. The bolt release. The bolt release and the bolt lock is kind of like an AR-15 bolt release, just turned on its side. That's what it looks like and feels like and seems like to me. So locking the bolt to the rear, you just push in the bottom of the bolt release that's closer to the trigger, and then rack the charging handle. And then one of the unique things that I liked is when the bolt locks to the rear, the bolt release kind of sticks out a little bit so you can hit it when you're done. And I liked that, especially at first when I was getting used to that recoil sensation. Like I said, it was very different. So I wasn't quite sure when the bolt locked to the rear in the first couple magazines, and that bolt release kind of stuck out and hit the palm of my hand. And the first several mags, that was a nice little, oh, that just hit my palm. That means the gun is unloaded and I should probably reload it. Once you get used to the recoil sensation, it's no big deal. But in the beginning, that little reminder was nice. All right, let's take this thing apart. It's very, very easy to do. And we'll continue with the review. So there's 4 pins total. You need to pop these 3 that I'm showing you here to take the gun apart. There's 1 pin, there's 2 pins, and there's a 3rd here. And as you see, the pins come out very easy, and then the gun comes apart. And there's a lower and an upper section, and this is kind of a it is a multi-caliber system. Now I didn't check if you wanted to buy separate lowers. I didn't check if they're available and how much they were. I apologize. I'll put that up on the screen. But if you have one Vector here with the upper, you can buy different lowers and have different calibers. So this one here is a 9mm. I could buy a 22 or a 10 or whatever lower I wanted, slap it on here, and now you have multi-caliber systems that you're able to swap, and I thought that was kind of cool. A couple more things on the upper I want to touch on. There's a rail that goes all the way across the top. I went with the primary arms red dot on here, and in the beginning I had a primary arms prism optic on as well. The prism primary arm things are great, and that thing has been through hell. It does come with a nice set of plastic polymer sights. They're adjustable. They're good for me. They're just a nice little backup. And I think that's everything I want to cover on the upper. Now the lower, there's a couple more things. The charging handle, for example, the charging handle sits flat. It's kind of retractable, which is nice, so it's out of the way until you need it. And then when you want to load the gun or whatever, you can rack the charging handle or lock the bolt to the rear. You can do so. Underneath, it has a Picatinny rail. I see some people add pistol lights down here. There's some other uses for it as well, but I think the most common thing I've seen is a pistol light. Your support hand is right there anyway, and you can very easily slide your hand down to the pistol light, activate the buttons, and that works pretty well. The barrel. This is a rifle, obviously, and it has a 16-inch barrel, and I made the joke, it looks like a narwhal tusk sticking out of the end, but I think the barrel shroud that's around the barrel looks a lot better. Before, they used to just have the barrel out there, and it looked kind of goofy. I think this shroud cleans it up, definitely makes it look a little bit nicer. You can take the shroud off if it's not your jam, if you don't like it. I think even better, get an SBR or get a Vector pistol, but either way. There's a little screw pin here on the bottom. You take that off, and then you can take the barrel shroud off if you don't like the way that looks. The barrel in there is good. It's a 4140 chrome moly vanadium barrel. That's the material it's made out of, and that material has been used in lots of barrels and lots of wars and it's a very good durable material. Also has a nitrite finish. Nitrite is also a great material on barrels. It impregnates into the material, and it's going to make sure your barrel lasts tens of thousands of rounds, especially with 9mm. It's not the hottest round out there, and it's going to last for a very, very long time. I took this gun out to 200 yards. That's as far as I can see with my eyes with the red dot. Anything further than that, I need some magnification because I'm blind, so I took it out to 200 yards, and that was no problem. All right, let's flip this guy over and take a look at that Super V recoil system that I rant and raved about. So there's one more pin, there's a fourth pin, that you're just going to take that fourth pin out, and then the whole system pulls out just like that. Very, very easy for cleaning, for maintenance, for lubing. This thing is covered in gun butter, and I don't want to touch it, but I will because I love you. So when this thing is chilling in the gun and you fire, this piece is going to slide down, and the bolt slides up on these rails to get out of the way so you can eject the round, load the next round in, and that is a very simple explanation of how it works. As the system goes down, the bolt rides up. Simple as that. It's magic. It's delicious. It's like Lucky Charms. It works well, and I love it. All right, that is the wonderful recoil system. Let's talk about the testing that I have done. Actually, before we get into the testing, let me just throw up the dimensions on the screen, the weight. Good size gun. This is rifle configuration, around 8 pounds. MSRP is $17.99. That's going to vary based on which one you decide to go with, and obviously you can find them significantly less than that. That's just the MSRP, not the street price, but there you go. Of course, I'll put some affiliate links down in the video description if you want to pick one up. Hopefully I can find you a good deal. Now, let's get into the testing. I shot 400 rounds through this Kriss Vector, and friends of mine at the range and just strangers at the range, when they saw it, they probably also shot close to 400 rounds. If you buy one of these, especially in one of the unique colors, and you bring it out to the range, it's going to get attention. People are going to want to shoot it. It's a smile maker, especially if it's a younger crowd who played video games. They very, very excited when they see a Kriss Vector. It's not something you see every day, and people gravitate towards it and want to shoot it. Even when I had other really nice guns out on the table, like a Daniel Defense or a Nighthawk pistol, people wanted to shoot the Vector more than those two, which, you know, says a lot. Those are both very, very good brands. So anyway, 400 rounds, mostly just having fun at the range, plinking steel, nothing very serious as far as drills or training classes or competitions, just having fun at the range and being silly. Again, I did a ton of magazine exchanges, especially from my Neo Mag spare mag carrier. That is the best way to carry a spare magazine, but I did a lot of magazine exchanges just to get used to the different controls and the order of operation and how I wanted to work it. The last time I brought it to the range, in total, I probably brought it to the range about 10 different times. The last time, which was just a few days ago, the range was set up for a competition. Either the day before or the week before, they had a big competition at the range, and there was steel everywhere, and there was barrels and barricades and these long tubes, and I had an absolute blast shooting this and several of my pistols through the tubes, around the barrels, around the tubes. I shot hundreds and hundreds of rounds of 9mm just that one day. I was running around, shooting through the tube for some reason. I had a blast. I enjoyed it in transitions, and I shot so much ammo that day. It was absolutely ridiculous. But I definitely think I put enough rounds through this gun to make an educated opinion on what I think of the pros and cons. The biggest pro for me, I'm going to say the way it shoots. It shoots extremely nice. With that recoil system and it being a good sized gun, it shoots much nicer than most pistol caliber carbines. I love the way it looks. It's a cool looking gun. It's a space gun. Space Force should absolutely adopt this gun. This should be the gun of Space Force. It's very, very capable. It's not just all looks, but it's a very good looking gun. The recoil system is great. The trigger is good. The rail, the stock, the folding charging handle, a lot of good things. Magazine release works well. There's not too many things I'm gonna complain about. If I could change one thing, it'd probably be the grip. I would like to see it more aggressive. I don't know if everybody would agree with me. It's okay if you don't, but that's probably the only thing I would change if I could. Overall, it's a very, very capable gun. Don't look at this and assume just because it's been in every movie and video game, it's a toy. It's not. It's very, very capable. If you wanted to use this for home defense, for competitions, I think it would really make sense if you carry a Glock pattern gun or a gun that takes Glock magazines and you want to use this for a smaller version for a backpack gun or a truck gun or whatever, where you have magazine interchangeability. That's where this thing could really, really shine. Get the 10mm. If you own a Glock 20 or a Glock Model 40, get the 10mm. That's what I should have done. I regret it. I get the 9 instead of the 10, but that's okay. A great system. You could have 45 rounds of 10mm in 3 magazines spread out between your pistol and your rifle. Man, that you're going to handle pretty much any normal situation that comes your way. Anyway, I'm done talking about the gun. It's dope. I like it. Let me know your thoughts down in the video description. Who do I want to thank? I want to thank Kriss Vector, of course. They did send me the Vector, or Kriss USA, they did send me the Vector to play with, and that was very, very nice of them to support the channel. I'm going to mention Primary Arms, the red dot that I have on here. They have sent me a dozen optics over the years. They are a very big supporter of the channel, so I just wanted to say thank you to Primary Arms really quickly. Very, very nice of them. And I think that's it. That's all I'm gonna chill today. There's no sponsor. There's nothing else. I'm done talking. So if you think I deserve it, please do me that favor. Like, comment, subscribe, enable the bell notification. That stuff is free. It's easy. It helps me out. I appreciate it. We are so close to 40,000 subscribers. We may be there by the time you watch this video. Who knows? But we're so close. So if you think I deserve it, please subscribe to the channel. Definitely appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.